Hey there, this is Darren, day 16. So a little late today. I've had 3 programs around the country, so had to focus on those and deliver when I needed to deliver. So day 16 though, this is critical. This, of all the lessons I have ever learned, this one was number one. This one made the biggest difference. So, whew, if you know, I didn't do so well with the Subway franchise, and yeah, I was all excited and I bought the franchise. It was fast growing, it was new to the area, which is woohoo, exciting. And I thought, I'm gonna own multiple Subway stores and I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire. And so that was my mindset going into it. And I hired a lawyer, and the landlord had told me that they were going to put a stoplight in right at the intersection near my store because it was so high traffic and fast. So it was hard to pull in and out, which obviously hurts business. Not as much, ease of use. Let the buyer buy. Anyway, so I remember listening to a motivational tape of Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn told this awesome story. And he said he went to his mentor and he was complaining about why he wasn't successful. And Jim Rohn's mentor said, okay, go back and make a list of all the reasons you're not successful and bring me the list tomorrow. So Jim goes home and very diligent, does it, brings it back to his mentor the next day. And his mentor reads it down, and there's one problem with this list, Jim. Your name ain't on it. Oh, that was a lesson I needed to hear. I needed to take 100% responsibility. I chose the franchise. I chose the location. I chose to ignore the fact that street light may never go in. I chose to ignore the lawyer who told me they could open another Subway right down the road for me. So I realized I needed that same lesson that Jim Rohn did. I was 100% responsible. A friend, Tom Bismeyer, look at him as a mentor, and he said, everyone's self-made. Only successful people are willing to admit it. Ouch. Only successful people are willing to admit it. And so listening to Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins and going for that crazy, ridiculous dream, I put a poster up in my bedroom. If you were around back in the 90s there, the Successories posters, they were everything. Everyone had them, corporations had them, they're putting them up everywhere. Well, I had one in my bedroom and it said, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I had something amazing happen yesterday. Absolutely amazing. Like, it was a God thing, for sure. So as you know, I've been struggling, trying to get my script out there and getting rejected. And I had, if you saw day 1 video, if you don't, go check that out. I'm all over the map, but I was super excited about diving in. Anyway, I told a story then of this woman who gave me advice when I went to her. She happened to be in my audience. She was a Hollywood superstar, on TV, model, and I met her at one of my conferences, and I asked her for advice, and I said, look, I want to find somebody to write my script. And she said to me, I heard your speech. You're a good writer. You need to write it. What? So when I'm going through, okay, I got to go back and get rejected again. I went back through and looked, and I reached out to her in 2019. By the way, she asked me not to use her name, so I'm respecting that. So in 2019, I reached out to her, I called her, and never heard any response. Well, yesterday, when I'm like trying to inspire by example, her card has been on my desk for 7 years because she told me she'd look at the script. And whether she would or wouldn't, it was like just that symbol that this was definitely a God thing back then, how it happened. If you knew the whole story, it's crazy. But I wrote the script because of what she said. She said, go get this book. I went and got the book. I talked about that a few days ago, early on. But anyway, so yesterday, I prayed, I put the card up, and I called her. And she picked up. And I said, hi, this is Darren LaCroix. I met you 7 years ago. I don't know if you remember me, but I had asked you for advice. I explained the situation. She's like, of course I remember you. I was, what? We had just a great conversation. And when I told her, I not only immediately went out and got the book, but then I went and met Sid Field, the guy who wrote the book. She said, you did? And she said, that's what matters. That's, go and do it. So I'm just going for it and doing it. Now, last week, I promised a rejection report. So I'm going to start doing a rejection report. So if you're not familiar, I'm still learning this, so I'm clueless. There's a synopsis, just like that when you're watching Netflix, that little tiny paragraph that explains about the movie. So I wrote one of those based on Michael Haig's book, and I get that out there to try to get interest, to get people to want to read the script. So I've sent 16 of those, one phone conversation, 20 scripts are distributed, but that number doesn't matter as much as in Hollywood, people of influence. So, phone call came in. Forgot about that when you're doing Facebook Live. She agreed, and she agreed to read the script. So I sent her the script, so the tally goes now to 7. Why am I doing this? I want to keep track. I want to get excited about getting the numbers out there. When I talked to Jim Stovall, one of my mentors, he had one of his books turned into a Universal Studios movie. He said, you need to get 100 scripts in the hands of people in Hollywood to have 5 good conversations to maybe get it bought. So right now, today, 7, but I'll keep checking in with that tally. But remember, you and I are 100% responsible. People are going to get in our way. It's going to happen. Get there. Do it. Keep going. You are responsible. You're the CEO of your dream and your life. So, see you tomorrow.